And we'll call the Parks Commission meeting to order. Katie, would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Liz Lasky.
Present.
Lainey Rozga.
Present.
Karen Mao. John Veach.
Here.
Karen Peltola.
Here.
And Tim O'Connor is absent.
And he called.
Excused.
He's excused, he's sick. Is a motion to approve the agenda that was emailed?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda approved. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes of our January 24th meeting? The only thing I was gonna say, Kelly Greavy had let me know that she was going to be, and she said she wasn't gonna come because she was going to resign. So I would say that's, not that it's a big deal. If you want to change it, but she did call, so I'd say it was excused. She did notify, it wasn't like she didn't just show up. And Tim O'Connor was excused tonight. Any questions on the minutes? Motion to approve?
Motion.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. There was no correspondence at all, so there's, back to the citizens and citizen public input. Anything? No. Thank you for coming.
Quiet
For
tonight.
coming, it's a quiet night. We'll move on to committee reports. First thing on there was Morton Park. Lainey and I talked today and said, well, if it's all right, and we're gonna ask you, Jeff, to pick out the paint colors. There's only the two structures that need painting. And hopefully, I think it's gonna clear early this year, and the sooner we can get it painted, the better. So do we tell you the paint color, or do we buy the paint, or what do we do?
I'm happy to buy the paint. I
Okay.
prefer people with more experience and expertise in that area. If you guys would pick out the paint colors, tell me what you need, we'll get it all assembled for you. And then whenever you're ready, you'll have the supplies.
Okay,
What brand of paint are we looking at if we're looking at colors?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If you want a specific color, like
Yeah, what do you guys?
robin's egg blue or something from a paint.
and do you do that metal to metal? Does that seem to work best on that?
Well, depends on there's some plastic, there's some metal. I'm not
Mainly
sure.
the metal that we're painting down there.
Yeah.
It's the swing set and the slide.
Right.
Looks like it needed.
Oh, there is a little plastic, yeah.
There's a plastic surround.
Yeah, you're right.
That could be done with like a spray paint, that Krylon, that's good for
Something close
plastic.
to the litter.
Okay, let's do the plastic too, so, yeah, okay.
Can we pick a date, like in April, mid-April?
Let's set a date, and if it happens to,
For the painting.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get me the colors, we'll go make the purchase and have it ready for you, so whenever you
and then let's just
choose.
schedule it. Lainey, do you have a date? You pick one.
Okay, let's see how it
And
goes.
do we have to pick a certain paint brand or
We'll
local?
purchase it all. If you just give me colors,
For color, that's all.
Color choice, like
Yeah,
those color
she doesn't want to
swatches
come
or
back and
whatever
say
for-
forest green because different types
We'll
of.
bring a
forest
swatch.
paints
Right, we
from
want
each.
to bring you like the actual.
I think we've been purchasing from
Gilroy's.
Gilroy's.
And they color match
Cool, yeah.
out there. They do color match if we.
Just bring him back the thing, he can go and have a mix,
They
I
should
think,
do
right?
that.
Do they mix that type of paint
The
too,
only
or-
thing, I did go out there, they're metal to metal, they have like 4 colors. Let us look at that and see, because they will not color match the metal paint.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought.
Let
that.
us check on that, Jeff.
Okay, yeah, you
Sure.
might be limited to what's on. Yeah,
So, I'm thinking we should choose a Monday or a Friday, so that way if people from out of town wanted to come. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Do the painting on a Monday or? a
Yeah,
Friday?
That would help, I mean, yeah.
yeah.
let's do Monday. Karen, you help with the date if you're interested. And not everybody has to go. It's not
No.
like it's a huge
No.
project.
I'd like the middle of April sometime, or close to the
15th?
end, or, yeah.
The 15th or the 22nd?
I'd rather do the 22nd, to be honest.
Okay, probably makes more sense to do it later.
Well, yeah, I'm just worried about weather-wise, so.
April 22nd.
April 22nd is Earth Day.
Oh, that's a
There
perfect
you
day
go.
to be in a park.
There you go.
What time should we start?
John, is that in your?
Well, if there's dew or moisture,
No-
Right. Gotta,
32.
yeah, I'd do it in the afternoon.
well, maybe around 10 would be okay.
Yeah, you think it burns off by then? You
Yeah.
think it'll, I mean, as long as you think it'll be dry by then.
Well, I'm sure we won't get started at 10, just because we say 10.
Right.
April 22nd at 10, and we'll talk about it beforehand, but let's just tentatively plan that. It'd be nice to get that done.
Yeah.
So,
10 a.m., got it.
Can we pick a rain day? If it rains?
Yeah, April showers bring May flowers.
Right. The following Monday's the 29th.
Okay, let's make it the 29th if that doesn't fly. Is that good?
yes.
All right.
No, good thinking.
And then all that's left there then is 2 grills, right?
Installed.
2 grills installed and the basketball court.
They've been installed.
Oh, they have been installed, thank
We
you.
installed those last week, and the basketball court has been excavated.
Good.
Sand base has been put in, and it's formed up.
Just by there.
I didn't
And I
go by
didn't
there
see
today.
that.
I didn't either.
We
Must be
just
blind.
we just did it last week.
Oh, did
Okay.
you?
Perfect.
Must be covered by the snow.
So I believe if you get all that stuff painted, we have to put up the canopy on the shade shelter and pour the concrete for the basketball court and install the 2 hoops, and
Oh, man, will that look nice, eh?
we're about
Are
done.
the
Fresh and painted.
basketball poles being painted too? Do they need?
The existing ones sure could use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Do you guys use the silver paint on everything, like for fence fabric?
Not
and-
necessarily. I think the ones that are out there are blue right now.
Oh, are they?
The poles.
Okay, I didn't pay.
What
Yeah.
color are new ones, do you remember?
They're silver, just like the ones down at the beach at First Street.
Okay.
We bought the same ones.
Okay. Well, perfect. That would be a nice project to get done, so.
What color is the shades that you're putting up? Is it colored?
I think that one's yellow.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Was it? Yeah, it was sitting out on the picnic table when we did the community build. I think that one's yellow.
Can't remember.
I can't either. See, I saw something sitting there.
It'll be nice. It will be
Yeah.
very nice.
Whatever color.
It'll be bright.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a day.
Yes.
We have a date, we'll get it.
Yeah.
Okay, on the amphitheater, Karen.
I don't have an update at this point. I'm kind of waiting to see what our next step is with the process that you might be able to.
What about the study? We should talk about a little bit. 'cause-
What is it?
I mean, the study was done, completed, and
The study was completed with that third component added.
It's still officially it's still draft. I emailed a copy of that, or the link to it, to you. I don't know if you've been able to forward
Yes.
it. It was just
I
a
did.
day or two
Oh,
ago.
I did forward it to everybody.
Oh.
So I don't know if everybody, it's 123 pages.
Yeah.
But it was a very complete, good report.
Oh,
and
man.
Very
I
factual on Manistee.
Yeah, I think the consultants really did their homework. I think they're obviously experts in this field. I think they analyzed the market in the state, and in my opinion, they really put forth factual information. And I know there's some people on the committee that aren't happy with that information, but
You gotta
it
go
is
with
what it is. And so we asked them, the follow-up after we got the initial draft was, the scenarios that we had hoped would be feasible really aren't financially feasible unless we got either a huge grant or a huge gift. But we asked them, what would it take to make it financially feasible? So they've added a section in there that basically said you have to have a large concert every single week, or you have to double your ticket prices, or you need to make it twice as big, or you need to have smaller smaller artists, less expensive artists,
Right.
and still draw more people. And so I think that the grand vision probably isn't feasible. When you read through that, you should be able to kind of
And then-
get that as you read it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of info there.
And Grand Rapids is putting up a huge one now. So
Oh, are they?
Things have
It was like,
Oh,
we
wow.
don't have much going for us. Or we have a bad location, we don't have the
Well,
humanity.
the location is ideal. It's just the population center around us
Well, it
doesn't have as much of a draw.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I didn't realize.
Then there's that radius rule, which I didn't realize till I read the report, so that if you're playing a concert in Interlaken, they may not allow you to have the same artists. I thought maybe you could piggyback off them, and that's not.
Yeah, the Salt City Rock and Blues actually ran into that, I think it was 3 years ago, when they had the Here Come the Mummies. They tried to book them for the 4th of July, but they had played, 4 months before at the casino.
Oh, really?
And so they couldn't book them, and they had to wait until the following year
Huh?
because of those
Those rules.
non-competes, yeah.
Well, it came out to be a deficit, and
Yeah.
it's like building a house. If you,
Yeah.
there's always an override. If you think it's gonna cost X, it costs, 20% at least more. And I thought on this, the problem is the deficit may be more even. That's what was scary to me. I thought, wow. The other thing that was interesting, and I thought it applies to parks, and so everybody will read it, is what people in Manistee, out of the top 10 things to do and the visitation at each thing, the Ramsdale was basically dead last with very few. That maybe this isn't a cultural town, it's a recreation town. People come here to hunt, they come here to fish, they come here to kayak, they come here to go to the beach, and the parks, and I think it is more, and it's not because we don't offer that, it's, if you go to events at the Ramsdale, they're often pretty, not as well attended always. They're pretty skimpy attended, sometimes you have to work pretty hard to get that Ramsdale filled. So, just, that was interesting to me, so.
Yeah, and I think all of those things kind of woven together make the fabric of a community.
Oh,
So I think they're,
You still have to
Absolutely.
offer.
I think they're each important, and,
Yes.
I think this project, I still think there's a project there. It's just probably not on the scale that we had hoped it would be, right? So, I think that adding more culture, the stage was meant to be like a sculpture, an art piece in its design,
Especially with the back.
but it's probably going to have to be scaled down, and it's kind of meshing that recreation in the park with that cultural, and so we'll see where it goes. I anticipate that there'll be kind of a committee meeting coming up in the next month or so.
That kind of-
I didn't realize that Ludington has some kind of a waterfront, I don't know if you call it an amphitheater, but it was in the study. Did you notice that?
Like a band shell or something?
Yeah, there's something right along the water near the boat in the harbor, and did anyone talk to Ludington about what they do? Is that a city-owned park?
It is.
It's mostly free.
Well, the consultants did all that legwork. They spent they spent quite a bit of time. They went up to Arcadia Bluffs. They spent time in Onekama at a concert. I think they were here when they had the Tuesday concerts down at First Street. And then kind of factored in all of those type of things, so.
Ludington was like they used to have years ago at the courthouse, back in the day, I don't know if everybody remembers that. You'd bring your chair to the courthouse before they added on to the front. There used to be a big lawn there. And then they'd do a concert there once a week in the summer. And that's what Ludington is, and that's 350 plus. Usually they have those free concerts sponsored by West Shore, like for summer with those, what do you call those bands that are not really Queen, but they're the Imitators bands?
Oh, yeah, imitation.
What do you call that?
Cover bands.
Cover bands, is that what they're
Yeah,
called?
that's what I would call it.
Okay.
Cover bands, right?
Yeah, that's what they usually, Katie, did you go to those ones in Ludington? They're well.
Packed, yes.
They're super fun, they're well attended, but they're free. That's part of the big draw, it's the cost it's just free family fun.
Well, West Shore Bank sponsors those concerts, and when I was the chair of the Forest Festival years ago, we met with West Shore Bank trying to get them more involved in the Manistee community, and what they said is when they would do sponsorships for different festivals, specifically in Ludington, they just didn't feel like they were getting the advertising bang for their buck, so they decided, they bought their own stage, they hire those own acts, and they feel like the marketing they get out of that free concert justifies that. So, they're currently a sponsor of the Sleigh Bell. When the Forest Festival had bands, they were a big contributor towards the entertainment there. So hopefully there's
And a lot of Manistee
some
people go
partnerships in
down
the
there for
future.
that. So it's accessible, it's 30 miles away, it's probably 25% Manistee people down there, so it's a good,
Yeah, I guess.
it's good.
Can I say something
Yes.
about the study? I thought everything that was gleaned, all the data, is just amazing. And that how we'll be able to use it, like, going forward for other things.
Yeah, I think it's a very good accurate baseline and now we're gonna have to
Exactly.
chart a course
Yeah,
to
exactly, yeah.
what
I
we
like
can
that.
do,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the capital improvements, John, I don't know if you want to say anything on that. And we did pass around, and Jeff suggested we vote on it. The four things that came up as recommendations, and we can add to them or go over them, was pickleball, bike pass, property acquisition, and this came up at the last meeting, and then we tossed some ideas around. Were Jefferson, man-made lake, the consumer's power, and then Laney, who said the one around 9th Street Boat Launch
I did.
property?
I
Yeah,
did.
And,
Right, she did too.
yeah.
okay,
Both.
Jeff had explained to me how much we do own around there, and that was an interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, we purchased 5 acres from Morton Salt several years ago to assist in the expansion of and upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant. That takes up probably, well, about half of the launch itself in the north part of the parking area. But there's still, and then there's 9th Street right-of-way, and in between, there's still a block of land that is owned by Consumers Energy and extends to the water's edge, and the city has a recreational easement for that. But that's something we could look at.
yeah. The other thing is, who owns a building there? I mean, is it owned by, is it the cities?
Isn't it Tang's?
Which building are you
Building at
referencing?
9th Street Boat Launch.
That brick one,
The brick
Oh.
building.
bank.
To the
bank.
south? Yeah, that's privately owned.
Oh, it
I
is
don't-
privately?
Sangs used to own it. I don't believe they still own it.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a nice building. I mean, if it's still, it could be used for a lot of
Yeah,
things.
Mosier's owned it at one point. I don't know if they're still the current owner.
Okay. Just Curious.
So, you asked for long-term property acquisition is good, because one thing Manistee, we probably let a few parcels go by. The last thing were dog parks, where there were actual dog runs, maybe a dog agility, just like the girls explained at that last meeting, that First Street isn't big enough to put an agility course, and it's not big enough for large dogs, so.
Yeah, and if you're interested, I know they were here at your last meeting, but I know they're making another presentation to City Council next Tuesday as well. And I've seen some of their funding levels. They're
Getting money?
really going after it. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Well, maybe, yeah, I'll call them, because it would be good to consider, if you don't put it all into First Street, maybe might be an idea.
Well, like they explained to you last month, though, they have this project as their project, and they need to have it completed
For the class.
Timeline.
for the class
correct,
by this
yes.
summer, so.
Yes.
So they have a timeline.
And then some short-term immediate projects were the basketball hoop with backboard at Fifth Avenue, and I believe you said that was ordered. And-
No.
No, not.
I applied for
for the
a
grant.
foundation grant for the purchase of the backboard.
Naminger or whatever, or just a,
As she explained, it's a Manistee Community Foundation grant, so they will, you make, when you apply for any grant through the foundation, you submit a, kind of a,
Narrative?
well, it's a pre-application. And then once they approve that pre-application, then they send you the actual application for the appropriate fund that would match the project. And then you complete that and,
What's included in the pre-application? What kind of? they
just a
looking
little
for?
bit of narrative, a little bit of background, a little bit of information, what the public benefit would be,
So like a lot of grants.
yeah, cost and match.
Gotcha.
I got a current quote on, and one pole, basketball, hoop, and backboard is about $4,600 for the one, like the ones that we put at First Street. 4,600,
Heck, yeah,
4,000.
yeah.
That's a lot better than 10,000.
Well, they're expensive, but quite frankly, if they last,
they last.
that is so worth
They
it,
also look nice.
and they look very nice.
No.
Yes. Institutional strength. is
Then the
what we
4
have.
new basketball hoops with backboards at First Street Beach, and John and I were gonna go, at some point, we're gonna go talk to the Hampton and see if, I think it'd be nice to ask the Hampton if they would care to buy a couple of those. They may or may not, but we gave them the tax abatements,
So
so,
you're looking at 4,600 apiece?
Yes.
So we're really looking at 10,000.
Yes, it'd be close to that.
Well, if you wanted 4, that'd be about 18,000.
Maybe they'd
Right.
only,
Well, we could ask them for 4.
18.4.
What the heck?
that's right, go big.
And if they say 2, then we'll take 2.
Okay, go big, John. That's good.
$20.
Good idea.
Maybe they put them all over town. And then Karen Mao had a good idea of repainting and repairing the bleachers at Duffy, the wooden ones, by, you tell me.
So, yeah, so we are just about finished with restaining several of the benches. There's probably 10 benches that the guys did this winter. And then we're gonna pull those boards in, and as long as we keep with the weather like it is, we'll work on that right now.
Perfect. And then removing that bench at Duffy, and I think you said you called.
That's gone.
Good.
It is? Oh,
That's
it's gone.
huge.
It's under the, yeah, awesome.
And then remove the utility pole at First Street Beach near the Lions Pavilion, the wooden pole. Okay. And then just cut off the tops of signs, and it says at First Street Beach above the actual sign, so small, and I guess anywhere that the signs are.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Brandon told me yesterday he thought they were all done. There may be one that still needs it, but
I
they're
went by,
working
but
on
that was
those.
probably 2 days ago. It was Monday that I went by, so if they're all done.
They were working on them.
Okay.
Not today, we were plowing, but
Okay, thank you, good. Okay. Moving on.
We were at capital improvement.
The, pardon me?
We were at capital.
Yes, anything more under the capital, we have to vote on these, so looking at the top things, the short-term ones are more projects, but the recommendations of what we'd recommend, we should vote on this.
Well, I'll make a motion that the long-term projects, you know, if Jeff can work it in the budget, Monday, money or matches or whatever. I don't know if you want them prioritized.
it's helpful.
Priorities.
So if you approve this list, whatever list you approve, then I'll add this into the capital improvement plan for the parks. And if you prioritize them, then I can prioritize them by year. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't necessarily mean that we've got a funding source for them today, or might not even tomorrow, but it's something that we can start looking forward to grants, match money, or ways that we can do things internally. You know, the pickleball one, we're working with the community foundation on that already.
Right.
So, but that helps. If it shows, I think if council understands that this is that these are the priorities from the commission, then it helps me to justify that in the budget requests.
I get it, yeah.
Okay, so that said, let's talk about the order, and I'm gonna interrupt for 1 second. When the pickleball summit was mentioned by the foundation, we would like to be included on that, most definitely, when they have that summit.
No, I talked to Sarah, and she said that they really didn't have anything planned.
Okay,
But your other comment was it's kind of a long-term project. And so I thought maybe we should take the lead on that. And I developed a sheet so that we can, because I play pickleball over at the Armory, and it'd be very easy to pass on a survey to pickleball players and whoever else wants to fill out a survey. And the first step would be to prioritize each aspect of site location. For example, accessibility, turning in to the site with your car, noise, parking, restrooms, sand, scenic setting, site preparation, visibility, water, and wind. And if people would just list the importance of those issues, rank them, and then in a separate communication with these people, we have the 7 different locations that Jeff has identified, and then they just go through the list here, and 1 through 5, how does that rate? Accessibility, is it a 5 or is it a 0? Noise, if it's close to a residence, And some information is better than no information. And right now, we've got no information, really. People just off the top of their head, oh, no. So, and then I've got I'll pass this out. You can keep it. But what I would do is just hand it out at the pickleball, when we play pickleball. And then add a section if they want to put their name in, their age. Do you play pickleball, yes or no? So that we can also get some idea as to whether or not people play in their age too. Because like Tuesday night, there were a bunch of young guys there, high school guys.
Thank you.
So it's catching on with the young people, and we are way behind the curve as a community when it comes to that.
15 years at least.
I mean, there was a guy that I played down in free soil with, and he had a Ludington tournament, pickleball tournament in 2018. And so, anyway, so that's what I'll just do on my own, and I can feed you with the data once we get it, and then we'll have something.
This is excellent.
Sarah also suggested that she wanted to have people throughout the community to participate in this summit. And one of the things that's been mentioned too is should we have an indoor facility? Obviously, the expense of that would be much greater, the maintenance would be greater. Right now, we've got a perfect facility right with the armory. It's not, I mean, sometimes it's overcrowded, you have to wait a little bit longer to play. Wait. Okay, but if you want to have it a little bit more, there's plenty of time available where we could schedule more time if it really gets overloaded and extremely popular, right? And it's self-funded. No tax money from the taxpayers, and it helps the armory.
And no employees.
Right.
No.
Doesn't take any
Yeah.
employees, there's no staff.
I mean, we don't really, in my opinion, I don't think we need one. Now, it'd be nice to have one and say, oh, we've got this beautiful facility, but then the taxpayers would have to come up with some dough.
Travers is building one now, and we actually played in one in Kansas City, but Travers, the old Kmart, is becoming a private pickleball place up there, and someone is
Across
doing
from Grand Traverse Resort.
Yes, and someone's doing it as for profit, so that makes more sense than the city taking on another building and employees. And I agree with John that they're also playing up at the Portage Lake Bible Camp.
yeah.
They're playing
Oh,
in
yeah.
Arcadia, they
Yeah.
play in
Oh,
free
yeah.
soil, indoors.
And that,
Plenty of indoor places around here, and
This-
half the town leaves in the winter anyway.
and so this addresses the idea of having something out into the community. Free Soil tries to get an indoor pickleball group going once a week. They're lucky if they can get 9 people. The same thing with the Bible camp. The Bible camp has been going longer than it has been here in town. And so they get, people there, but nowhere near what they get right here in town. And here in town, it draws people from Arcadia and all around. So, yeah, we could consider putting something out in the county, but I mean, that's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, the city should have a pickleball, so.
So,
Did you say that there's 7 sites being considered?
Yeah, whatever.
Do they actually have
well,
sites?
Jeff put together, I really like the way he did this too, because it's quick and dirty, and it's easy to look at. 7 potential sites in the city.
I think I'm up to 14. Well, one of the questions that the foundation asked are, would the city be interested in having pickleball constructed, and do you have locations? So I just started looking at public space, because we don't have a lot of space left in the parks. If we take the tennis courts out at Sands Park, that's an obvious location that could go back. But a lot of our spaces are being used up, and so not all of those spaces are currently public, but there's something that could be acquired. There's something that we could come to terms with the landowners. So I literally took Manistee Townships and cut theirs out, and then used those and cut and pasted different sites in town. And it was really just to show the foundation that we have sites available. Some of them need more than others. Some of them don't have parking, some of them have parking, some of them have restrooms, some of them don't. And so, and I've shared those images with Sarah. So I think we've started that path. And from what I heard from her is that they want to know, they want to feel assured that the community needs it, wants it, what the right place to put it is, who's going to maintain it. And I think they'd be interested in helping fund it over, because it's going to be, expensive to build 8 courts, but I think that path has started. And I think a survey like this helps. The more information you can get on there, and if this commission is interested in hosting this facility in the city, then you don't even need name on there, but where are you from? Because if you're from Onekama, but you're playing in Manistee, and you're from Free Soil, and you're playing in Manistee, well, we need to know that. We want people to come visit us and use our facilities. And
So we are looking at a regional type pickleball.
I'm sorry?
Regional type pickleball.
Well, it would, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's what the Armory serves
Yes,
for
it
now.
is.
Okay.
I think that's part of the core mission of the foundation is to improve recreation in the county, not just the city.
Exactly, and I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
we have,
And I think what's happened is that there have been some grant applications for pickleball for like 2 courts. And so that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not gonna say much more because I could get in trouble. I know people have applied for one, so.
So I think what we should do, I suggest that we kind of put these in order and vote on them, and then the next thing would be to have maybe a pickleball committee. John already kind of started that, but, when we looked at Jeff's plans, pickleball, have a couple of people be on a pickleball committee and just move forward a bit with it. But before we do that, let's prioritize that and decide. I mean, we don't want to do that if people don't want pickleball. So let's vote. Lainey, you got a proposal on the...
Well, yeah, but I can't even remember what was on the list. There was,
Pickleball.
Acquiring
bypass,
property.
Property acquisitions.
yeah,
And dog parks.
in 9th Street Boat Launch.
can I ask a question? Are we only looking at doing one at a time or concurrently? Like, couldn't we ask for some land acquisitions for some of the park area that touches the trail? Because there's a trail authority that can get some grants for those types of things.
There's no limit. I mean, we've got 15 parks, so if you did a capital improvement project on every park,
Yeah, right.
that you could have 15, you could have 30 projects. But this is the current capital improvement plans have a 5-year planning horizon, and then there's a column that's to be determined.
Right.
So, if you said, man, we really need to acquire this piece of property and this should be the top priority and we want to try to do that next year, well, then it gets proposed in the next year.
Gotcha.
And we've got to try to solve the funding and match and all that. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that becomes the priority.
I gotcha, thank you.
So if you have 5 projects and you list the order of priority, there may be one that is tough to do. Like maybe we can't get the grant for that acquisition, but it doesn't stop us from trying to do the next project, right?
And that's all I'm trying to, so that we
Some of
don't
them are
get stuck on
simultaneous.
one.
Yeah, I don't think it's
So,
the.
okay,
Yeah.
I guess, because we can discuss this,
Sorry.
I would make pickleball the first priority, but we know the foundation's leading that. But we support that. I guess the second thing would be the land acquisition, and to me, the first priority, the piece by man-made. That's just, to me, that's the priority, to make that a whole for the community, because right now, it's kind of a mess. And for everybody in the city to take advantage of that area appropriately and really use it, you need that piece. So, and then, I really can't say after that necessarily, but that would be the thing. And then, 9th Street Boat Launch, and what was the last thing? Because that's really long-term. You're gonna have to hire a designer, you're gonna have to do a lot of probably DNR stuff. I mean, that's a 20-year project. And I think it has to be started.
Yeah.
So it's done in my lifetime.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, I can't remember what the fourth thing was.
Are we gonna vote on, say, priority 1 and vote on that, and then priority 2, or are you hoping to get like a?
I think just the
A list
list,
and vote on the
just a list, just to give some direction is what you would ask for.
I threw something out,
Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah. So, what was the fourth thing, Liz?
Bike paths and a dog park, and maybe those girls will take the lead, not the girls, but the lead.
Okay, yeah,
the lead
Dog
on
park.
that.
yeah. Because that's kind of it'll be improved this year, at least.
Yes,
So,
but
I guess I would leave that at fourth,
a mini dog park. Mhm.
yeah.
Are we going in order?
So it came out pickleball, property acquisitions, bike paths, and then a larger dog park.
9th Street Boat Launch.
Is third is what I got written down.
Yeah,
9th Street boat launch is 5,
3,
number 5?
3.
Oh, 3.
yeah.
Okay, so
Because that's
you're pulling that out of, not just, you're pulling that out of the property acquisitions.
No, we own
No,
9th
'cause
Street
it's gonna
Boat
have
Launch.
to-
Oh, you're saying the 9th Street, okay, just improve.
North,
You're saying improve the 9th Street boat
Yeah.
launch. That's number 3.
yes.
Okay, got it.
So not property acquisition for it, but
Right.
Well, that would be,
Acquisitions 2.
that'd probably be part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Property acquisitions, that's the opportunities arise.
Okay.
That's number 2.
That's number 2. 9th Street boat launch is number 3, improving the whole overall place.
Yeah.
Bike pass, 4, and a larger dog
Thank you.
park,
I didn't-
5. Okay.
And maybe the dog path could be a short-term goal in reality.
The bike
run.
for the
I
dog.
think the bike paths almost could be a short-term goal too. I mean, we
Yeah.
could do a lot with that this spring just to make sure that we've got a good bike path from First Street Beach down to Lagoon Creek.
Better
Yeah.
work on that.
We wouldn't have to do much, some slight improvements, maybe a few signs.
We do have bike paths from, on First Street from the west end up to Cherry, all the way down to Murky Road,
Yep.
and that's the city limits.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
When we're saying bike paths, I was thinking bike trails. Are we talking more about bike lanes, like alongside?
In the
The
roadway,
road?
yeah.
Is that
Along
what-
with the roadway or,
Is that the priority we're talking about, or are we talking about, I thought we were talking about like trails, bike trails, like
Through
if
woods?
the railroad, yeah. That's what I thought you guys meant by bike paths, so I'm asking for
Well,
clarification.
why not include both? I mean,
Yeah,
we-
bike paths and trails,
Yeah, 'cause
put them
it might-
together
it might
because,
pass through some wooded areas or, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Or could, yeah, adjacent to or something maybe.
I get it.
And then when it comes to extending bike paths beyond the city,
Yeah.
which is something that is in the master plan was on how, with.
The county one,
how
yep.
long- What was that, 2000 or something? 2020 rather, or 2019?
Yeah, that's probably right around there, maybe a little bit earlier. There was a whole county-wide group that met and studied it and looked at each of the, what I will call hubs, like every community, Bear Lake, Onekama, Calava, the city, and kind of put together a master plan for, I'll call it non-motorized trails. And then a combination of some motorized trails too, that could be doubled with snowmobile and that sort of thing. And if you watch that, the county is still moving forward with grants and land acquisition and trying to construct sections of those trails. I think it'd be critical to get trailheads in the city that could then branch out to,
Absolutely.
because
And a lot
we've
of
got,
those, yeah.
we've got the overnight stay, we've got the restaurants, we've got the fuel. I mean, we've got a lot of the infrastructure that you need for those trailheads.
Absolutely.
and what John just said is, if you could get to Magoon Creek, I know part of that goes to the county, but that's a no-brainer. They would, I think, be right on board and then
Yeah.
to get it accomplished. We can contact them and
The county? Yeah.
they're pretty, they want to work together.
We did a project, I was the engineer for the road commission, but we did a project on Red Apple too that that, if I'm trying to remember correctly, I think we extended the bike lanes all the way out there. So there's actually from Lagoon Creek to First Street Beach, I think there's pathways, there's shoulders for that.
Yeah, we've been out there. My wife and I have ridden out there, and I think it just needs to be a little bit safer.
Yeah.
Because we know people have been hit by cars, and I tell you, I'm nervous.
It's gonna happen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Let's contact them. Okay, is there a motion? I think we have the correct order. Pickleball, property acquisition. Number 3 was the 9th Street boat launch. Number 4 is bike paths and trails. And number 5 is the larger dog park.
Can I ask another question?
Yes,
I'm
of
sorry.
course.
Property acquisition, I'm looking at it, are we just saying 9th Street boat launch? Or are we
No, that's a
saying-
separate thing. 9th Street boat launch.
Man-made has a parcel.
9th
of-
Street.
9th Street doesn't need the property. It's a
No.
whole.
It's
talking about-
improvements.
Yeah.
It's improvement. That's a separate line item.
It's a separate problem.
Yes.
My vision for 9th Street would be acquire that property from consumers,
Yeah.
upgrade the boat launch itself, add some fishing piers,
Yeah.
walkways and picnic areas along the lake, and then improve the parking and add a restroom facility.
Accessible
To me-
kayak.
To me, that's, yeah, and it could even have that.
Yeah.
About it,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we get.
That's something the city doesn't have, and it really should have.
Absolutely.
By the way, and this commission has talked about it in the past, but this morning I got an email forwarded to me. There's a company that has caged in shelving, and they rent various things, but kayaks and stand-up paddle boards. And you have an account on your phone, you scan the QR code,
The kiosk.
and it's,
Yeah, we
yep,
spoke about that.
yep.
I'd
And
like
it
to-
pops the door open and,
Karen was
Man-made
working on that.
For practice on man-made, and I wouldn't mind seeing one at 9th Street once we get that up. and
that would be an
running.
appropriate
Wouldn't that be
location.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I haven't responded back, but they've asked to set up a meeting and we're gonna have some dialogue with them, so.
Excellent. I'm happy to
That
hear.
would be a pretty much self-funded
Yes.
venture, wouldn't it?
I gotta look into it.
Software
I
is-
think you actually have to rent I think there's a rental cost for the unit and the equipment, but then there's a revenue sharing back to you. So there might be a little risk, but I don't have all the details on it.
I have a company that you would buy it straight out from, if I understood it correctly. That you buy it IHR or something, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Where you buy it directly from them for $10,000. It's either electrically run or solarly run, which I thought those are kind of remote. So if we didn't have the electricity out there, that could be
If-
but the software monthly was the cost.
Okay, sure. The maintenance,
And-
yeah.
And I bet you they skim a little bit off to handle the account, I would imagine. And when I say
If you
skim,
find that information, will you forward it to
I
me?
will,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, back to this. We really need to have this, I think we know what we're voting on now. The order of 5 things that are parks, I'll make the motion. The parks capital improvements for the long-term haul. Number 1, pickleball. Number 2, property acquisitions, and we listed a few. 3 was the 9th Street boat launch improvements. 4 were bike paths and trails, and 5 was the dog park. Anybody support that motion?
I'll support it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So those are long-term. Do you think we should, John, do you want to be like a pickleball committee? Do you want somebody to
Sure.
help you with that? Anybody want to be on pickleball?
Well,
Everybody.
yeah,
I think we all.
and I think at some point we'll need a liaison with the foundation group, correct?
You're right.
Somebody?
And that would be,
Well, I'm serving that role right now.
Okay. But, a lot of the time, well, okay. Because so long as somebody's part of the process, I guess.
John, we'll get you. And who else? I'd be honored if anybody else wants to. We should get a couple people on that.
We're gonna have our own committee?
I think we should have a little committee too that we just kind of, Jeff will work with you and you can bring it maybe with John or something to the foundation. But I think get a couple people in on it. John's a pickleball player. I mean, and
Well,
he's
yeah,
willing to do the
right.
survey, so. Is that all right, Jeff?
Do they want a
So it's up to you, yeah.
commission person on the summit? Or they just want you?
Everybody wants Jeff.
They've invited the city manager and I to participate in that. I'll see if they would like to have
I
more.
thought Sarah said they wanted one of us last
So
time,
did I,
when she
at-
was,
Well, then
at a
she would
certain
reach out.
point, she,
I think we,
Once
I
they get to that point.
think we would like to be.
Well, it wouldn't be any big deal because I'm retired and I could go to any meeting anytime, so
There you go. You got John.
if they want
I don't see any
someone.
reason why I wouldn't be invited.
Yeah,
It's a closed part. So, okay, John, and then if you need some help, if you want.
Well, I think Karen said that.
Okay, Karen Mao. She's the tennis player, so this is perfect. Okay, so we got that. Okay, moving on down here to kickball, anything to report, Karen?
Nothing as of yet. I haven't heard anything from the MRA. I don't know when they're gonna offer it, this spring or summer.
Okay.
Waiting to hear from them.
What is the schedule? How do you, just Eric Thummel, is that just chance? Do you just get down there, or what is?
No, it's
Oh,
scheduled. We
okay,
had
that's
there were 4
perfect.
teams last year.
No, I mean on getting together with him. You just,
Oh, I usually just, yeah,
Drop
I
in.
haven't, yeah, he can't, I'm on their email list or their newsletter list.
okay,
So he just contacts me. I haven't been over there to
Okay.
speak with them yet. They've been pretty busy with
Yeah.
some of their programming going on right now, so I'm kind of.
anything with plein air?
I contacted Purple Paintbrush. We were supposed to have a meeting. She got really busy, and I understand that. She's a business person. And we're gonna meet in April, date to be determined, so.
Okay, thank you. Keep
Sure.
going.
And we'll look into that. I'd like to, Cindy Egan. Is it Cindy Egan? Who was the lady that taught art?
Well, she was the band director, but she's very artistic. She makes jewelry, she does it.
Okay. I was wondering, what I'd kind of like to see is a consortium of, I know that we have, like, well, anyways, that's thinking ahead. But, we got a lot of art here, and I'd like to see it kind of come all together and,
And have more of it. Just
Exactly.
free painting down on the river walk.
Exactly,
People are
yes.
walking by. They used to do that in Baltimore, and it's just kind of fun. You're walking down there and they're
Exactly,
looking, and there's
When-
not a better place to paint than down there.
when you do schedule that for this summer, we'll be under construction along the Riverwalk.
Okay.
So
Doesn't have to be the
let's just,
Riverwalk.
yeah, I know, but I think it'd be an awesome place.
Oh, are you
but-
kidding me? That'd
That
be
other
lovely.
side.
The
But it-
boardwalk would be,
But when you're setting those up, just give me a call and I can kind
I
of
got
give
you.
you updates on where the work will be
I
done.
got you. No, thank you. Because she was even thinking, because she doesn't have the stand-up easels, she's got desktop easels
Mm-hmm.
that maybe to kind of start out, we would talk about maybe going over to the, that small park on River Street, right across from Art.
The art park?
Is that what you guys call the
Yeah.
Art Park? Okay. I kind
That'd
of
be
thought.
perfect.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Traffic, walking. I like it when people walk by, people paint.
Exactly.
So-
But like there's flowers there too, where you
Mm-hmm.
can kind of work with that. So we're gonna discuss some things. Hopefully we'll be able to bring something to fruition that's amenable to everybody. So
Okay. Budget, anything, John or Jeff, on the budget?
No, I think we covered that.
I think we did too.
Good.
Maintenance, you said you've been doing the benches. Any other updates on winter maintenance?
Yeah, we started doing some bathroom painting. They went through Arthur Street. The paint was peeling off the walls. So they did some, repainted all the walls in there. They did a two-tone to try to hide some of the dirt and people come in the bathroom, they stick their feet against the wall. And so they did some of that. They actually didn't realize this. One of our new Parks guys has experience with epoxy floor painting. So they redid the floors in there. They look outstanding. I mean, the guys did a great job.
very nice.
So we've got some delamination in the floors down at the fish cleaning station. They tried to warm it up because none of those restrooms are heated. So they tried to warm it up, but there's an open vent, and so we've got to get that cured. We'll deal with that next week. But trying to get a jump on as much as they can. If they're not plowing snow, we've got them in the buildings and doing some things. So.
Okay, and then number 8, grants and studies. the Riverwalk update.
So the Spicer's getting close to finishing the bidding package for the South Riverwalk, which is the Federal Economic Development Grant. So we expect to have some work starting in the spring. We've selected the decking, and I know that's moving forward pretty quickly here.
Is it maintenance-free decking or?
Actually, it is. And we looked at everything from Ipe, which is sourced out of the tropical jungles, to, just standard treated lumber and everything in between. And what we've selected, and this was brought to the city manager's attention, but we had done a pilot project down at the west end of the Riverwalk where we used an epoxy material, which it's very nice looking. It's very durable. When those carts, those little scooters were in town, what were those called?
Oh, the e-scooters, the birds?
Yeah,
The birds, yeah.
The kids burned out on them, and it actually melted a piece of that.
You're kidding.
So we were a little hesitant on that, but somebody said, "Man, Manistee was founded on lumber. We got to find a way to have wood." So we actually found a pine that is sourced from Sweden, but it's impregnated with a natural tree liqueur, and it makes it hard, it makes it water resistant, it makes it pest and mildew resistant.
Wow.
And it actually gets better skid resistance when it's wet.
Really?
That's the
Yeah, I
whole-
actually jumped on it.
That would be the whole Riverwalk then, is that fine?
All the wood pieces would be,
Is that, did you go look at one? Does it look?
we have, yeah.
And it's-
And Bill has used it in the previous community that he was in. Interestingly enough, the source of that material in the United States has purchased Somsel lumber in Calava to try to be able to showcase the product to northern Michigan. So that's the way we're bidding it out. And every one of those products, unless you're using a synthetic resin, they all go to gray eventually. But the stuff is really sharp. So
What's the longevity on it, did they say?
it's got I believe, a 40-year,
Nice.
30-year warranty.
Do
Really?
we have to clean it then?
Yeah, how was it maintained?
It does. He said it shouldn't need cleaning, but it can be cleaned without any apprehension
Really? Nice.
or restrictions. So
Okay, nice.
it's called Kebony. Kebony.
What's that again? How's that spelled?
Kebony with a K. Kebony.
Ebony, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because that Trex is held up on that other end, it looks like. I mean, that looks good. So, that'll be interesting.
And then the North Riverwalk, we're just waiting for the legislature to appropriate the funds for all of those grants. And when that happens, we'll get notice back. And then, but Spicer's putting together their scope of work right now for us, so.
And will that include, on that north one, does that include that band shell or whatever you want to call it over there? that little mini
It specifically excludes the band shell.
Okay.
The grant that we received, one of their restrictions is it will not fund any band shell. So we actually had to show the site plan and leave that out. But it does improve the steps right adjacent to it. So it'll replace those steps going down to it, and it adds a new barrier-free path from the band shell level up to Washington Street. Because currently there's not a path to get down there.
Are you looking at the same
That's
type of
paid
wood?
for by- Or that's funded by the city?
DNR, right?
We received a DNR grant, and then we're funding that. 49% of it's through the grant, 51% of it will be local funding
Through the city?
through the city.
And then the south Riverwalk is through the DDA, right?
The South Riverwalk has some DDA money for match and then an Economic Development Administration grant from the feds. Yeah,
But the matching comes from the DDA
correct,
on the south and from the city on the north.
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
The beach master plan project, I attended that meeting, the kickoff one. And Spicer's doing that one too. And I would have liked to see more of they did it, what was that old plan? Was that 2009? I would like to see what we accomplished in that plan, what wasn't accomplished, and then what is no longer even needed. But I think they're gonna do a good job. It looks like they got a grant on that from that Michigan, what was that, MEDC or something?
It's through the MEDC, yes, and part of our redevelopment ready community designation. So we were eligible for technical support, and we applied it to this. It's the first time MEDC has funded that, so they're going to be kind of using this as kind of their pilot and their template for future projects as well. But the meeting was of the steering committee, and the steering committee identified kind of the interests and focus groups and who should be included in opinions and perspectives. And so they're going to be setting up in the next couple months a series of meetings with representatives from those different groups and the community and the Parks Commission and all kinds of different people to get perspectives. And
Really a lot of people involved.
so it's an extended process that will probably take us through the end of the year.
But, you know,
And they had a lot of city representation, which I think is important because the beaches are our largest park within the city. And as we all know, if you live in the city, you do pay a lot more taxes. So I was glad to see that the city was well represented. Although everybody from the county, you want them to come in and use the parks, I do believe that the city should be definitely well represented, and they were. And Spicer did a good job on that. So, okay. And I was on that, I'll stay on that, but I think they said we could have 2 representatives. John, I think you want to be on it, and I think Tim does too, so.
Yeah, I thought Tim was
Tim,
the one.
let's put Tim first and then John, see if we, I know we can get one more, because you're gonna do the pickleball.
Has there ever been any county funds used to maintain the city beaches? Or any other funds outside of the city, aside from grants?
I want to say no. The only,
It rankles me is, I mean, my wife worked with a man who lived in Filer City and almost laughed at her because his taxes were so much lower, although he worked for the city. And I use your beaches, but look at how much lower my taxes are. And it's like,
Well, it's not the parks that keep your taxes high, it's the schools.
yeah, I was gonna.
well, I
You look at
know,
your-
but it's
your-
just, the thing
Yeah.
that kind of is frustrating is that everybody uses our beaches, but the city residents are the only ones who pay to keep it up.
And there's not a difference on the boat launch, we give, I think, $25 off at Lions Pavilion, but, you know, we pay the same, so, yeah.
And when you use the
Cities
beaches in
pay.
other communities, you gotta pay to park. I mean, like
Grand Haven.
North Carolina and California.
A lot of them are charged.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating anything like that, just, I was curious as to whether or not the county chipped in anything to help us.
The only thing in my tenure here is the county road commission used to help us level the beaches. And then we would usually help them with something and they would help us with that. And then after a while, they started billing us for it, and then it was getting expensive, so we just figured out how to get it done in-house.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's one thing that I always emphasize to the community foundation is that while this money is available to everybody in the county, that we're the focus point, we're the recreation center of the county.
Right.
So,
There's a lot to maintain.
There's a lot.
And part of it is because, which you want, is the volume of usage.
Yes.
But it's not all, so, okay. New business, we did already, the very first thing we did agree on.
Second thing.
Second thing we did, playing fields, I think it was Teresa Waldo had asked, is there an adequate playing field? And that's why I was asked about Eric Thummel. We should go talk to him and just see, do we have enough adequate playing fields?
Yeah, as far as when you say
Oh.
playing fields, what do you mean?
Um,
Diamonds, baseball?
yeah, well, not just diamonds, like when they were playing football on the baseball diamonds and we're trying to,
Oh, I gotcha.
put a lot of money into the baseball diamonds, they probably don't want football and soccer playing down
No,
there. So what is the long-term
I
plan?
gotcha. Okay.
You know, do we have enough for our recreational facilities?
Okay, gotcha.
Manistee.
Can I just point something out you just reminded me of? The, our contractor that's going to do the improvements to the north softball field, he's committed to us verbally that when the frost laws go off, which means you can transport heavy equipment, that he would be here to start working on that. Well, the frost laws are on right now, so that's the first step. So as the ground warms up and settles, we should be able to get that work done early this spring too.
What does that entail exactly?
They're going to take, the first thing is they're going to take about 10 foot of the grass and they're going to remove that grass and bench it down and re-topsoil and seed it.
Okay.
Because the stone is built up on it. Then they're going to take the stone dust area, remove it, mix it with some newer material, and then relay that out, and then reset pitcher's mound, the batter's box, and then the bases.
So the whole thing is gonna be, so do they disc it and then crown it and then they must, eh?
I'm not sure of the exact methodology.
I'm thinking that's the way they're gonna do it. Because those all have clay bases, right?
Yes.
Diamonds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It sounded to me like he would bring the new material in, spread it around, and then they would do something to mix it, kind of scarify it.
Yep,
And then re-level it, pack
Okay.
it, and
okay, nice.
That would be good. Thank you. Okay. Jeff, I think you did that on maintenance. What about Mark Fetter?
I talked to Mark a couple of weeks ago, and he said, yes, he could do a presentation on the marina here after our May meeting. He's booked up in both March and April. He's got 3 other talks he's giving around town, so.
Love it, yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
So, but yeah, he's really excited. He'll do the marina history, Tuesday committee, the way the marina came to be. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
No, right.
But yes, he's 6:30 on the May evening, our meeting, I believe it's the 18th. I could be wrong on that. Whatever the May meeting is.
Okay.
Is good.
Excellent.
great.
And he'll be in touch, or we'll be in touch between now and then. So.
Thank you.
Would we ever want to hold that meeting at the marina?
We,
You really can't.
council preferences that you have these videotaped.
Oh,
But I think Barry would come if we asked him long enough ahead. Barry, he had told me that before. Barry
Oh.
would. I mean, it just might be nice. We're talking about the marina.
Sure.
do it on
Would they
site?
care if we,
Okay.
if it was nice, you could do it outside, but if it was not, you could do it upstairs and that, just around those
Is
tables.
there a place for a video screen?
Let me check on that before, because we gotta, okay, I will check on that. I will check with Barry and I'll check to see if there's a.
There's adequate room for it, but we would need to get a projector and a screen.
I mean, that's kind of a good idea too, you know?
I mean, it's, if you're talking about the marina, and a lot of people haven't seen that, and we do rent that out,
Exactly.
maybe they would see an opportunity to rent it or
No,
something.
exactly.
I'm talking about inside,
Yeah.
yes, inside the building at the top part.
In the rental
The rental
portion.
part.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
It'd be nice, it's at the marina.
We're having our meeting before.
We could have our meeting there too.
Yeah, we
Yes,
could have.
I'd
our
say have
meeting
both there,
yeah.
stay right there. Let me
That's a
just,
great idea, thank you.
if Barry, yeah, thanks for orchestrating that.
Sure.
Good. That'd be interesting, so we gotta get some, get some advertising out on that, but we'll find out for sure. We won't start that until next. Okay, basketball hoops we discussed. Summer events, does anybody have anything that they want to report on one of these summer events?
Yes.
Good.
Stargazing.
Yes.
I was in contact with Brooke. I was following up to see if she got in touch with you, Linda, and she said she had not, but she's not going to be able to do any more events because she's moving to Florida.
Oh,
like really
bummer,
soon.
really?
She got a job for space reporting.
Really?
Nice, good for her.
So, yeah, she's very excited and she'll be excited
Wow.
about it.
She didn't have anybody to recommend?
Well, there was a man.
Look at me, I'm thinking that.
I think that he came to that very first event at Fifth Avenue, and he had on his jacket, what's that, space,
NASA?
no, SpaceX.
Oh,
So he's connected with SpaceX some way. I don't know if it's just through like her more volunteer, but he's an interesting gentleman, and he drove in from Pierport. Told me exactly where he lived, and I'll see if I can contact him.
yeah,
Oh,
He might be. Anybody else have anybody else that knows
no. but-
astronomy?
No, but I was hoping
Telescope.
dark
Oh,
sky part
and I
could
talked to her
come.
about that too, and she
Yeah.
said NASA does not do dark skies in her experience. So
Oh,
she
they don't,
didn't have
okay,
any-
okay, further
She
information.
supports it, but she had no
Gotcha,
resources.
nope, no issue, thank you.
Okay.
Do-
Okay, so let me write that down, see if I can find that. The memorials is still on there because we did not do anything with that.
What's Manistee Rocks?
Well, that was just an idea I just put down.
that's that group that was working on the amphitheater. that-
No, that wasn't what I was thinking here, and I
Oh.
saw this idea somewhere, Manistee Rocks, and it's an activity in the park where you teach kids
Oh.
identifying about rocks, you know.
Boy, I was way off.
Rocks, maybe polish a rock. No, it's not the
Okay.
amphitheater, and it's like, they paint rocks, they identify them, they polish them, you know, and you get some
That's
rock
cool.
down there, and it'd be just an activity in the park, but it'd be fun, and you know, you
Yeah.
know how to find them on the beach, how to identify them.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So just another activity, I'm just
I like that, okay.
looking for someone that knows how to do that.
How about game night? That's on here too, I think that was on our last.
Yeah, just a family game night,
Like a huge, I'll tell you what I'd like to see. Down at the marina, they have those huge Jengas, they have huge Connect Four games, having a couple hours a night, you know, where the families come down and they actually play.
And it'd be neat downtown, and like those life-size chess
Exactly,
games, and
exactly.
the
Something
big
along those
tic-tac-toe,
lines.
and the
Yes,
big,
yes.
yeah.
Where people kind of just drop in.
Yeah, and then you'd have a fire pit down there. and-
Fire pit,
It'd
yeah,
be fun,
just,
we would need funding to try to get some of those
Well,
games.
and somebody has to kind of babysit.
right,
Yeah,
well,
you'd have to be, and you'd have to,
well, I was thinking
and
there.
if anybody has some of those, that's what, there are people that have them that use them for weddings and stuff. There
So
are-
the company I mentioned about the kayaks,
Yeah,
they actually rent those type of things
do they
too.
rent them?
Yeah.
That might be our best.
So I think there's smaller, like kiosks or whatever that have those games that you can rent too.
Really?
So I'll try to bring back some more information for you.
Yeah,
But it'd be
that'd be
neat to
good.
even just to have it all set up for,
And-
a one-night use even. so.
Exactly.
Well, but if it's,
But if it was a kiosk down there, it might
that's,
be used.
yeah, you could leave it there and
And then-
nobody has to.
Same thing with the
babysit.
shuffleboard,
Right.
could be put in there. I mean, it's
I was
hard.
just gonna say, how about a kiosk for shuffleboard?
Yeah, that would be,
Because,
Is that stuff at the marina?
Yeah,
There's
it's
some
down
there.
in where they.
So,
right
so
down
during
in
the
fuel
operating
shed.
hours, you can get
Works,
that
but-
stuff.
but it
well,
doesn't
we've done
always
that,
work
but I
after
just
it.
thought,
What are the hours for down there? What are the hours the staff works? Is everybody like what, not 7 to 3 or, I mean, like, do you have any afternoon staff at all?
Marina or DPW?
Well, right, because there's two different,
marina.
DPW. where
I thought you were
marina.
asking the
yeah,
marina.
you're asking the marina, right, Karen?
I'll ask the marina first.
So it's like 9 to 5 early season and then 8 to 9
Okay,
PM.
okay. so
July and
Nice
August.
long hours.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. How about DPW?
7 to 3:30,
Everybody,
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, no Saturdays, no weekends? Who?
Water and sewer, I bring people in on the weekends.
Okay,
And then we clean bathrooms and clean up garbages Saturday and Sunday, one person through the summer.
okay, that's all I'm asking, yeah, I wanted to. So that's cool that the marina's open later hours.
So,
Yeah, and that's
so
7 days a
That could
week.
be a checkout point, but
Yeah.
gonna say-
the reason why I brought up the rental things is just what Laney was
Yeah.
saying is somebody, if the public's gonna buy them, then the public needs to maintain them
Yeah.
Right.
and make sure they're,
Accessible to.
they come back and they're, you know, rented out or
Somebody's
loaned
credit
out.
card, they're gonna put the stuff back.
Yeah,
They're
generally.
just gonna use
yeah.
it with their family and then put
Yeah.
it back.
If we had staff, we used to use license. we take your license, you got the thing, you bring it back, you get your license.
That's what you use for the
Yeah.
shuffleboard. We just
Yeah.
use their license.
It is, it's an easy way to do it, but you have to have staff that can handle that.
Yeah, check on that, because that would be
That's
really.
why I was asking about what, staff works
Yeah.
what time.
Well, I know that Fifth Avenue has some of those type of games that can be rented out too on the beach and,
Okay. Yeah, she had spike ball last year, or 2 years, yeah, I love that, because I saw that on ESPN Sports. That looks like fun, I wish I was younger. I'd try it.
Okay, the memorials, does anyone want to chair that? Be on a committee for that? I don't think it's gonna take too much, I think we should just look at it, set some, and we talked about that a little bit.
it's really, we have outgrown our bench program.
Yes.
We really don't have
No,
a good, any appropriate locations for benches to sustain that.
to like.
So we're kind of looking for what other improvements could be out there because people really want to memorialize
Right.
loved ones. What other type of things could we do?
Like even the basketball hoops, if someone was a basketball player and you don't want to buy the whole hoop, but, it was donated, if you say, would you put, whatever they put for the chairs, 500 towards it.
Sure.
So that's.
The
what
benches
this
were
is?
$800-900.
Okay,
So, I mean, you could set that at $1,000, and if we got 5 families that wanted to do it and find a way to put a plaque by them, and
Then you
yeah,
have a
something like
perpetual
that could
fund
work.
for, that would be nice to replace and repair as needed.
I'll work on that, and you've got it, Katie, or you've got the form. Katie
And
Jeff.
then Sarah, from the Community Foundation had, I think I brought you guys pictures of it, but the little fish
Yes.
that were put along the walkways, and, I think that, kind of our internal discussion has been, we're gonna have a Riverwalk that's been upgraded from the old Chamber of Commerce down to Spruce Street, but then it's all wood from there all the way down to First Street Beach. So, maybe when we figure out what those costs are, then we'll know that for every 10 foot, it's gonna cost this amount of money. But if we sold $1,000 memorial
There you go, yeah.
and could
There
put
you
something
go.
along that
Yes.
pathway,
Yes.
maybe would people be interested in that? And
A
then
planter, maybe. Those self-watering planters are not.
it could be,
cheap.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to talk to the committee chair.
You got that right.
Okay, last thing is Lions Pavilion. We should think of some improvements. We had mentioned the painting of those little,
Cabanas.
Yeah.
Anything else that needs to be done for the year?
I mean, I was looking, I thought maybe we could use a couple planters, but I don't wanna, over encumber us with, worrying about putting plants in them, you know what I'm saying?
Who, it's probably the Lions, maintains around the lion. That, there's like a planter there with the bricks around it in the circle.
Yes, yes.
Do the Lions do that? I wonder if they need help.
As far as I know, they do.
Because they might need help on that. All those groups are getting so
That's why I don't
small.
wanna,
Don't want to take it over or
Well-
step on anybody's toes because they've done a good job.
Exactly, I
but,
don't wanna, and I don't.
They
wanna-
might want some help. They're getting up there, most
Yeah.
of the Lions.
Well, I mean, because we added 2 planters, and you know what I'm saying, the more we add, the more it has to be planted, and just has to be thought about, that's all. I didn't-
So I did have some conversation with Ed Bradford, who kind of heads up our IT portion. And we're going to have some conversations with the school and MRA about that software.
That would be sweet.
And then also the company that hosts our website also has a module for park and rec stuff. So we're
Good.
going to be exploring that too.
Okay, cool, no, that'd
Okay.
be awesome.
Karen, do you want to, you mentioned that you did a great job with
BSNA?
the planters last year.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the
Yeah.
plants, they last longer than that planter self-watering worked, and the plants were so darn hardy, I felt guilty pulling them out.
I know, I don't blame you.
I
Every
looked
time
at them, and they went to November, and they would've.
They did,
were
yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that, or who did that?
Well,
How,
I got the plants. I went over to Wheezy's after I ordered the planters. I went over to Wheezy's and it was in July or August, so it was late in the season. But I went over to Wheezy's and I asked them if they had some half-dead plants, and I'll be honest. And they had a table full of them, and they told me I could grab them, whatever I thought I needed. So I took a bunch of them, I put them in there, and they ended up doing very well for that short time that they're in there.
That's what I do at
So,
home.
yeah.
Even if we had to pay for them this year, because
Yes,
that would be fine.
that would be fine, yeah, because we're gonna need them early in the
Buy 'em
season.
from them, we're gonna need
But
'em earlier.
Wheezy's was awesome with that whole project. I
Yeah,
really appreciate their
let's keep
help,
them on
yes.
board,
Absolutely.
and you did a good job, so.
Well, it was fun, I mean,
Good.
I didn't.
Do you wanna do that again? I'll help you, we can.
Yeah, we gotta figure out good plans.
What you
and stuff
want.
to
The
put
gal
in.
from Wheezy's, go ask her, she'll
Exactly.
do it for you.
Yeah,
She'll
no, right.
have a
We'll
placement.
figure that out, yeah.
We do have money that council budgeted to support volunteers. So to me, that could be an appropriate expense.
Ooh, that would be
I
a
mean,
big one.
that's the money that I would use for your materials for painting Morton Park stuff. That's a volunteer supported activity, so
So
we
that
we
the
could help
flowers
you
maybe
with
could come
that.
out of that.
Or the Lions
Okay.
Pavilion Fund.
Or the
The
Lions
Pavilion
Pavilion.
Fund will probably all go for painting those cabanas.
Yeah, all right, I
So-
mean, yeah, because that's not cheap.
And I don't think, Jeff, you
That
don't
would
want
be
to
awesome.
paint those cabanas, and I don't think we're gonna get volunteer help to paint those. I think we should probably, I mean, the city doesn't wanna do that, do they?
Well,
I mean, the city's gonna be busy with the grants.
Sprayer than to have someone go up there with a ladder.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I wonder what it would cost to just subcontract that out and let someone.
I'm
come
trying
in
to
and
think,
paint
those were painted not too long ago. I haven't noticed. Are they in need again?
Yes, the
Yeah.
upper part does, and this, if you could do it before they all peeled, that you would, it'd be better. You know, just spray paint them like you just said, just keep them, yes.
Ceilings, right? Is that what you're talking about?
the ceilings and the poles. and-
We do have a spray painter, an airless painter.
I don't know, would the city want to do that, or would you prefer? Because we have that Lions Pavilion money that was earmarked to go back into it.
Right.
Your call on that, you don't have to tell me tonight. You know, you don't want to, it'd be nice if they were done earlier in the season, and that's when you're the most busy, so,
Yeah.
you know,
it's
you
like
might,
a-
I don't know what people would, someone would charge to paint that.
I don't either, but we got some painting people in town, I mean, some organizations that paint. Might want to take that on, not as a donation, but
No.
maybe as a, absolutely, that, yeah.
Pay someone, you're done.
I don't know, just an idea.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? John, anything you want to add?
Yes. Oh, too quickly. Question on, because we skipped past the basketball hoops at First Street Beach. Did
Oh.
we add that to a request for the budget, or how are we gonna try and get that done? Because it's on here,
I thought,
and I know we wanted to do the.
We were going to
floor.
ask the Hampton for some, but could we ask for some for the budget?
Would the city be able to?
Is there room?
You could, but that would be a capital project, and it wasn't on your list, but I can certainly write that in.
It was on the immediate project.
Yeah, it was on the short term.
Well, that's something I'd have to budget for, though.
If it's a budget,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that, I don't know if
Those
everybody
are
agrees with
quick
that.
fix.
It's a quick
As long as we
fix.
have the money.
It's a quick
Yeah.
fix,
It'd
we
be
just
nice to
need
get
money.
that project done, and
Yes, it would.
We have it, how about the lining out there? Are we gonna get that line this year, is that? or
The
no?
who?
The line,
Yeah, we'll get that line.
The painted lines.
yeah, the lines on the basketball
Oh.
court, I can't remember, where are we?
Yeah, we painted, in the fall, we painted Fifth Avenue. We'll get that this spring.
Okay, cool, okay.
are we still putting tether balls everywhere?
We have two.
Yeah.
I've started, well, I did a little shopping. They're about 450 a piece.
Yeah.
So if you guys, I think we can probably do at least one or two, but
Yeah.
tell me where you want them.
Fun, yeah.
Do they want one at Sands Park? Would they play tetherball?
Linda,
A good place for one.
would you guys like a tether ball at Sands Park
There are 4 poles in the playground.
for tether balls?
For tether balls, they had to take the tether balls down because they don't put them up anymore. But when they first went up, there's 4 tether balls. They started disappearing or
The
whatever.
balls disappear, huh?
Taking them in and out never happened, so the poles are there, but nobody ever plays tether ball.
Didn't they? They are using them at the beach. They're really used at
Okay.
Fifth Avenue. Maybe the kids
Yeah,
aren't
you
going.
still have-
So maybe that's not a good fit.
Yeah.
Let's not do it there then. If
Yeah, no, that's good.
the balls don't last and kids don't play, let's not put it there.
Well,
Yeah.
The kids would play if they brought the balls out and put them up every day, but they don't do that. They can't leave them up there, so.
They stay at the
Who
beach.
knows, they're in the bottom of the closet somewhere.
No, the beach, we leave them out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they stay at the beach all the time.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just.
They don't take them in at night at the beach.
Well-
I do, but on the playground,
Just-
More-
Maybe we need to look at what they, what kind of setup they have
and it never.
there.
Balls are hard to hold on to, I get it.
Because if you already have the pole, depending
You don't need to put it in.
what it
the
is,
park 'cause they're already there. There's
if
no
it
law.
works.
But if you don't think the kids would like, do you want to try one or not?
Yeah, would you be up for trying it again?
It's not up to us, I'm just saying, those poles are already there
Right.
on the playground.
If you had balls, could a kid take a ball over and put it on and, I don't know, is it
We could
simple
put
to
it
put a
on.
ball
I don't know
on?
what it-
Just leave them on.
How do they go on? Are they tied on or are they,
I think it just.
carabinered on or something?
I don't know.
Have to look at that.
No.
When we were kids, it was tied on.
To the city of-
Maybe one at Morton's.
Um,
Yeah.
Morton's might, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the school pays nothing for anything.
Could we just put balls on the ones that are there?
Yeah, that's,
We can do that.
Oh, they are on the school property.
Is that city equipment or school equipment?
I'm not familiar with where they're at.
So you know.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm trying to think.
They're talking about where the swing sets are and stuff.
So to
Okay.
the right of that, like facing.
Oh, I'll have to go
If
look.
you're going down.
By the basketball court?
Equipment,
Yeah,
is that school owned?
that's the school playground.
So I think that's where Sheila was confused.
Oh.
Like, the poles are the school.
Oh, I
owned
see.
property, Now the city.
Well, we probably
Okay.
won't put a balls
So I don't
on
know if
those.
you guys bought a ball.
Mm.
I mean, I can't say the school would say no, but. we
Sheila,
probably
were
gotta
were you saying that like the school used to bring them out, hang them up?
Put 'em up, yeah.
Oh, I see.
I was confused.
I
I was thinking
see.
they were closer to your building and that they were yours.
That makes sense.
Everybody uses that, there's nothing that says if you don't go to school here or if you don't
Right.
use this.
It's a
playground,
park.
Yeah, it's open to the public,
Yeah,
right.
It's in the park.
Gotcha.
It's just one of those things that is-
Well, I mean, you don't have to make those decisions tonight, but in the next month or two, if you come to a consensus and a recommendation on a one or two locations, I think we could find room for that this year.
Got it.
Perfect.
Right.
I
Karen,
have
you
one
have-
other thing,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Tetherball place.
The other question was about pickleball and property acquisition, because I know on our list Jefferson is one of the things we thought maybe would be nice to acquire, and I know that there's kind of a timeline the school is working with. Is that anything the city or the pickleball summit, are they looking at Jefferson as a possibility?
When I did the layouts that Mr. Beach was talking about, I put 8 courts on, over the top of that property, and I'm not sure that's a necessary acquisition. It's publicly owned by the school system, but when that building is removed, I don't think anybody's determined what's going to happen there, and certainly I think that would be an option, especially there's a parking lot there.
That's what I was thinking, there's parking, there's flat ground, relatively
There's a
flat,
playground.
and it's big.
Yeah.
It's not wet.
It's not like-
It's not wet. I mean, it's good. It's got a good drainage.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I was in support of adding Jefferson property acquisition because of pickleball. If you need a place, that seems like an obvious high on the list place we should be looking at. But
Yeah, could be.
I just wanted to say that. Sure.
Karen?
Nothing else.
I don't have anything.
I don't either.
I have one thing. We bid out the improvements at Fifth Avenue, and we received 2 bids, and we are recommending award to the low bidder to City Council next Tuesday. The scope of the project includes repaving actual Fifth Avenue, the street portion from Lake Shore down to the cul-de-sac and the cul-de-sac. It's really bad in that low area. It includes pulverizing the large parking lot that's up above and regrading that, and then adding 3 inches of new asphalt, a little bit of widening on the east side where the asphalt is broken off over time, and it adds more ADA parking spaces, has one-way circulation, and it'll just relaying that out will make the drive paths wider and more comfortable to be able to park in. It includes a short wall. It's actually shorter than the one at First Street, but it goes literally from the north end all the way to the building. And it has, I think there's 2 or 3 openings in it. But it's meant to help contain some of the migrating sand from getting in the parking lot. If it makes it past the parking lot, the portion between the upper parking lot and Lakeshore, which is kind of bare sand, we've put money in there to plant dune grass along that so we can try to catch some of that to keep it out of the parking spaces below the street, and then honestly to help it stay out of the residents.
Right.
They deal with a lot there.
Yeah, they do.
So we're hoping it's quite a bit over the money that we had originally budgeted for it, but we've pulled together some cost savings on other capital improvement projects and put together what I hope is acceptable, and we'll see.
Cool.
So are you talking about pulverizing that entire parking lot?
Yes.
Wow, that's a big project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
If,
You know, there are a lot of chunks of that asphalt that work their way into the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that can be done about that?
honestly, building the wall, I think will be the number one thing, because you don't,
Oh, yeah.
we've laid it out so that from the edge of pavement to the wall, there's 1 foot of sand, so water can drain. It gives you a little bit more space, but you're not able to get your tires off that edge, which is what breaks it off. And once the tires break that off, or even our heavy equipment, once that breaks it off, it just gets carried around and gets moved and.
Sucked out from underneath it, and then,
Yeah, and the larger pieces get pulled out by our beach cleaner, but you never can get rid of the little small pieces. And when the wind blows, it blows all the fines off of it, and the larger pieces are left. And it's if you go down there right now, it's ugly.
Yeah.
But we'll get it all smoothed out this spring. So
Where's the wall going? Between the beach and the
Parking lot.
Nice.
yes,
With
So then
about
that
a foot
wa-
of sand in between?
just a foot of sand, and that's just really to capture the drainage area, so we don't have ponding.
So no wall now on the other side.
Not at this point, no.
Interesting, yeah. 'cause the
We
wall
we
was
had
there,
talked about a
right?
smaller wall there, and then even one down at the bottom along the sidewalk, but yeah, we don't have funding for that at this point.
I'm just curious about
Hey,
it.
Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
what color is the wall?
We bid it with I can't remember the color of it. I put it in the council packet, but it's a very light brown. And it was meant to match the brick color of the beach house itself. And honestly, I think to me, it's one of those things that it's gonna be there. I don't really want it to stand out. I really like this really dark red color. That's more of the color of the accent color of the beach house. But I don't think people want to see the water and the beach. And so
Oh, what did you say?
Yeah,
That
that's a
mic was
good-
gonna-
I think it's 26 inches, 28 inches, something like
So if you're
that.
sitting in your car, you can still
That's
see
the
the water.
intention. We want to trap sand. We don't want it to be a visual impact.
Right.
And then we've also picked out some pattern on it. It's kind of a wavy pattern that'll be embedded in the concrete. It's a poured concrete wall, so we didn't want just a flat gray wall. So it's got colored concrete and some texturing on the parking lot side.
Very nice.
And if you look, I'm sure it's available on the website, right? The packet, this council packet.
Probably
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
yeah. So if you look on the council packet for Tuesday's meeting, I put pictures of that in there. So that's the only big thing I had.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. No. John, happy?